To America's Home Cooking. Today I'm making, by the way, I don't know how dinner tasted yesterday. I have no idea. My sons were a bit concerned because of the nuts. They said the meat just seemed to fall apart. I said, yes, but you have to understand that at the ancient time, meat wasn't that readily available, so they had to make it work. But anyway, today I'm going to make tuna with garlic and chili. Now, they want 3 of these little red hot peppers. Well, they actually said 4, but I'm not going 4 because I can't taste this and if it's too hot, so I'm going to have to play with it. All right, they want this finely minced. You're also going to need a glass bowl or something to put it in. So this is going to have a bite to it. I don't think it's going to have much of a bite, though, but we'll find out. Well, I won't. My sons will. And if you make it and you can taste it, let me know, because I don't know. I shouldn't think that way, but I can't taste anything. He said, Mommy, can you smell this? I said, no. He said, try. So what do you smell? I smell nothing. So they want this minced fine. If you want it a little hotter, you can put 4 in. You know what I forgot? The garlic. I tell you, I need a bowl to put this in. Small bowl. Okay, everything's going to be going in this small bowl till further notice. Okay, so we have those minced. We're going to be using a lot of garlic for this dish. So get ready for it. And good morning. I am going to be serving this over spaghetti. I'm going to be using semolina flour this time. Now we need 2 tablespoons of garlic. And they want it minced as well. And not just minced, they stay finely minced. Hi, Jet, and good morning. Okay. Peel garlic the easy way. There. What you have to do is take the little tip off right here, and you got it. Especially when you have a lot of garlic that you have to peel. Just smash it. And the skin comes off. Very simple. We're preparing tuna with garlic and chili. And good morning. Up early? No, I'm actually late. I'm usually up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's 6:30. Remember, I pack lunches, and everybody eats at a different time, so this is the best way of doing it. Mm. Did I get all the skin? Yeah, I got all the skin. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm losing my voice. I guess you're as sick as I am. I can understand that. This is going around. My voice is going. I'm hoping that it holds out. If it doesn't hold out and I lose it tomorrow, I won't be doing a video. I won't be able to tell you what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's 2 tablespoons, but I should be close to it or a little over it, but anywhere in the vicinity of. They want this really, they said, extremely finely minced. They don't make cutting boards the way I used to get them. We used to get them about 2 inches thick. They were really, really, and heavy. These are so light, you could throw them. It's just like if you angered a woman and she had a cast iron frying pan, she'll throw it at you. And believe you me, you will not get up when she hits you with it. Rolling pins were heavier than what they have today. Maybe they're making everything light because women used to use them as weapons. And you think the boys had it bad going to the shed because that meant you were going to get whipped. Oh yeah, I got 2 tablespoons here. A little more. See, I had to explain to my sons because they got so upset about the little logs I made. They said they're falling apart. I said, you have to remember, this is an ancient recipe, and meat was not as plentiful. So if they got meat, she had to make it stretch. And nuts they could harvest much easier, and you have to remember things like that. When you use these old recipes, you have to remember their circumstances and how life was. Now, I know in homesteading, they had to save everything and make it work. So, if they had pigs, they'd get leftovers and stuff. But to keep the ground going, they would have to give it the peelings and stuff. But at the same time, the peelings have the nutrients that they needed, so they probably had to cook it down to make a stock. And then it went into the ground and rotated. But everything was rotated and made. I have a little more than 2 tablespoons. I know somebody could say, that's a lot more than 2 tablespoons, so that's all right. I like garlic anyway. But they did finely mince, finely mince. Now this is going to be sitting when we put the tuna and stuff together. All right. The paprika, they want sweet paprika, and they want a whole tablespoon. We're putting everything in the bowl right here. Okay, we got this. All right, we need a tablespoon. Oh, I'm going to like this recipe with pepper in it. They want a whole tablespoon of black peppercorns crushed. First thing you do when you use the mortar and pestle is you're going to crack the peppercorns. That you have to do first before you can sit there and start grinding them. That's why you hear me pounding. And then you grind it as fine as you want. I don't need this cutting board anymore. What are you holding it for? I have a pasta machine, a manual one, so I can make stuffed ravioli, and I have not a counter or a place where it hooks up on because of the way they make the counter, so that is very frustrating. All right, a whole tablespoon pepper. I need a measuring cup. They're all in the sink. I'll use this one. Okay. To all of this that we've just added, we got the peppery garlic. Yeah, we got that. All right, they want a half a cup of olive oil. I'm going to use my oil blend that I make. Most of it is olive oil. They didn't even have peanut oil. I haven't been able to find peanut oil. I've been looking for it. I've been looking for frozen orange juice. And they say that don't have it in the warehouse. I mean, we've had orange juice all these years. They get a new store manager and all of a sudden these things can't be found. They don't have them in the warehouse. Something is going on. Yeah, half a cup of olive oil. So I don't know what's going on. They're making me have to go to other stores that I don't want to. I'd like to tell you, oh, it's just a little problem, but something's going on, and I don't know what. I know they got a new store manager, and she came in, and now some things are not gotten. And I don't understand. My father ran a business and he made sure, or at least he would find out why things weren't running. Good morning, Jake. All right, we need 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. I canned this a bit a while back. You want 1/4 of a cup? That's 4 tablespoons. You want to do it by tablespoons or however. Okay, this can go to the side. Put that in the refrigerator. All right. All right, we put everything in. Yay! And we're going to mix this up. Oh no, cilantro, I'm sorry. If you have fresh cilantro, you're going to need a whole cup. We are making tuna with garlic and chili. I told everybody, they know that my family takes their lunches and dinners to work, so I have to cook early. So if you have fresh cilantro, they want 1 cup of finely chopped cilantro. If you don't you need 1/3 of that, so that'd be 1/3 of a cup of dried. Oh, well, that's going to empty out my cilantro. I'll have to get another jar. Okay, put this up here so I remember to write it down. And I need a fork. That's why you see me cooking early in the morning, so I can get it done for them. Okay. Now I need paper towels for this. Now they say tuna fillets in the recipe, and my store calls them steaks, tuna steaks. And I looked it up because I didn't know. I said, why are you calling them steaks when they should be fillets? Some people call them fillets, some people call them steaks, but they're anywhere from 1 to 1.5 inches thick. Mine are 1 1/4 inches thick. Now, some people like to have these sort of like a steak, not quite cooked all the way through. Some people like them cooked all the way through. See, they're big and they are thick. Okay, so we're going to pat these out, dry them up. And we cannot use bowls that are metal. That's why I'm using a Pyrex, an 8x8 to fit. And you're going to dry these, pat them dry as much as you can. Now they're thick like this to hold them together because the fish will fall apart. Tuna with, what did I say? Chili and with garlic and chili. These are tuna steaks. If your store calls it steak, and the recipe says filet, this is what you're going to get. Just think it's going to be about 1 to 1.5 inches thick, okay? You're going to put them in a bowl here. I use a Pyrex because I want to make sure there's no metal, so just safer. And they do stress it. And you're going to take this that you've just made, and we're going to pour it all over this. They want you to rub it in, rub on it, and this is going to sit for a while. This is where now we'll be making the pasta when I'm done here. This is what they want you to do. Just rub it, soak it, because it's going to sit. Now you can let this sit up to 4 hours if you wish. Okay. All right. It's pasta time. Yay! Okay, I have about a cup of bone stock broth in here. You can see it in here, about a cup. And I am going to now use my whey. Now the white stuff you see down here is actually extra proteins. You can add it in. It doesn't affect the flavor or anything. So I'm going to shake this up and I'm going to pour this whole thing into this. This is added protein and nutrients after you make your cheese. So don't throw it out. You can cook with it just like anything else. Well, one will have it for lunch and the other one will have it for dinner. And breakfast, we're all, well, I'm not eating breakfast right now. I'm sick. I have to have apple cider vinegar and water for breakfast. See, in this household, everybody works at a different time. And they enjoy the meals that I make. And instead of wasting money buying it, they sit there and I make it. And that saves a lot of money, believe it or not. Women and people go and say, well, I'll buy lunch or something. You buy it, you're spending more money and less money for yourself. You really have to become an economist when it comes to this. Not the way they do it businesses, but for your home. You're actually running a business and you're running your home, making sure that your family eats and everything. This is what you're doing. All right, I'm going to add water to this now. Now, I'm not adding salt into this because what water is left here, I sit there and I'm going to throw out into the yard. And the yard will finish taking it, so that'll be less waste. Okay. Now, this dish I'm making, if you want to grill it, after it is set, you can grill. This is a grilling dish that you can do. I'll probably pull out my grill that sits on top of my stove, my range top here, and use it. Shoot, where the heck is that? All right, I got a match on the floor. What part of a match? Dang, oh, there you go. That's dangerous on the floor and to go into the trash. And that was a broken stick. Now, when you cook your pasta, with water, you don't have to worry about it boiling over, but because you have the minerals and stuff, it's going to take off. So you have to be aware that it is going to boil. Now, I'll get my machine over here and we'll get some pasta made. This machine does not do everything I want, but it does enough that I can maneuver with. It's called Muriel Lagaza. It's his. He created this. But I think I want to make, let me see, linguine this time, I think. Yeah, I think I want linguine. Some of it doesn't work well, but it does make spaghetti, linguine, and wide noodles and stuff like that. But when it comes to making elbow or something like that, it's not that good. I have to be honest about it. So, you know, I'll give you the pros and the cons, and you can decide for yourself. That's my personal opinion. Okay, we're going to need a plate. Okay, let's see if I remember this recipe. Probably not. Maybe. I think it's 3 eggs, if I remember. Yeah, I have to remember everything. I can never remember everything. Yeah, okay, we need 3 cups of semolina put into the machine here. Now, if you read a package, it should read eggs and semolina flour. If it just says semolina flour, I'd like to know what's holding it together because they're not telling you everything that's in things anymore. They've sort of gotten lax on it. Oh, you need your half cup measure. So when you make your pasta with semolina, you will also notice that it also sits there and has a beautiful yellow color to it. But I like to make mine more nutritious. That's why I make my own instead of buying it. Some I have to buy because I don't know how to make the shapes, and I don't have the counter room for the other ones. But for this machine, we need 3 cups of semolina. Okay, we got that. We're going to need a teaspoon of salt. Where did I was going to tell myself, where did I put it? So if you can't make pasta by hand and you just want to be able to make pasta, simple pastas, this machine is fine for it. But some of them you need other equipment for. I don't have that. Like I told you, I don't have everything I need to work with, but I'm getting it together. All right. Do I need another bowl? Dang. Yeah. Okay. You're going to need 3 eggs. I need this out of the way for now. You can crack them in a bowl, and you're going to beat them thoroughly. So as you can see, pasta has salt in it, eggs, and flour. Now, if you use all-purpose flour in this machine, the pasta falls apart. It doesn't hold together real well, which I'm aware of because I've worked with it. Where did I put that fork? I'm going to need it. If you use whole wheat, I would use it with semolina. They do have other ones. They have a gluten-free one. Now you've got to beat these thoroughly. Where did I put that? Okay. Now, they come with cups and stuff. Now, this one has a 2-cup mark here, and I have to fill the egg up as far as I can. So, I don't know what some of these people talk about. So you're going to pour your egg in there. Now, it's not going to come all the way to where the 2 cups are. You're going to add cold water to bring it up to that line. Okay, do not use the bubbles as your line. Actually look for the solid line. Okay. It's on. And then I have a little spout here that you're going to pour the egg in, and it's going to mix it for you. This takes about 20 minutes to do this. By then you'll have your water boiling. For those of you that make pasta by hand without a machine, God bless you. You've got the room for it. I do not. And I don't even have a place to hook the machine up, or the hand grinder. Oh, you know, the manual one. I don't have room for it, but I got it sitting around. So this is going to run for about 7 minutes. Then it's going to start pushing the pasta through. I'm making linguine. I can tell you one thing about this cold. If you catch this one, man, when you try to get up from sleeping, your back is going to hurt. Oh God, I hurt so bad yesterday trying to get up. This morning it wasn't as bad, so I know the cold is moving out, but I'm going to warn you right now, it is going to hurt your back trying to get up. Even if you lay on your side and try to straighten up, you just want to stay hunched over. It's going to hurt that much. So just letting you know ahead of time. Now the first part that comes out of here, they recommend that you take it off and throw it away. How am I going to serve this? I'm going to actually use the pasta as the bed, and then I'm going to put the steak on top of it, and then the sauce is going to go over it. My son wants to know, well, what vegetable are we going to have? I said, I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point yet. So when you make that dish with those logs, be careful that the meat is very tender. It will fall apart if you're not careful. So be careful how you pick it up and put it on the plate, because they use nuts at that time and dried fruit. Should be stopping soon in a couple more minutes. See, I told you, I know this machine. I've been working with it a long time. You can make this as long as you want. I know hand is much better, but like I said, I don't even have the room to do it or anything else, so and I can't hook the machine up to cut it as thin as I want. Now, this machine says you can also make gluten-free pasta. All right, you can make all sorts of them. I haven't made all of them, so I'm not going to say yay or nay. I found a buckwheat one I'd like to try making buckwheat. I didn't think, they said they serve it with buckwheat pasta, and I said, well, I didn't know that. And I said, I want to try that recipe. Why are you moving so slow today? You usually move a lot faster. I think it's because you're looking there a little upset. Don't worry, it'll get long enough and I'll cut it and it'll start moving faster. Yes, I do. It's a pond fly on my nose. Yes, I do have. My husband pierced my nose. why it's moving this slow. It usually moves quite fast. No, whatever. Like I told you, it's not the best, but it is. My husband worked in the hospital, so he came in with the anesthesia and everything, so I didn't feel anything. And he's an artist as well. Now it's moving. No, this is Emilio Lagaza's pasta machine. It also grinds meats and makes ices, I think, and grater's cheese. I don't know how I can grease it. It doesn't give me a place to grease it, okay? Because it's all in a sealed unit, and I'm not taking it apart because I can mess it up. I know they have a KitchenAid attachment for pasta for the stand-up mixer, but I didn't get that one. It needed rebuilding, yeah. My father used to do that with sewing machines because he sewed sewing machines, so I know a little bit about that. This has never made this much noise, but anyway. No, we're not going to overboil. It's a shame because this usually works very well. Well, a lot of women my age made a lot of things from scratch. The new women don't know. Anything happens. Like I watched this program and it was talking about if we had an epidemic and people would fight over food, that within 3 days the stores would be closed and there'd be dead bodies, and that would cause diseases, and people would start shooting and killing each other. And I'm saying, you know, that's not too bad, because if you have an atomic war, just think that the buildings would be blown down and everything else, houses wouldn't be standing there, everything, you wouldn't have anything then. But they made it sort of nice, but still terrifying. Of an epidemic, you just see dead bodies lying all over. You'd have all these buildings, but nobody lived there. Everybody trying to go to the country. Small towns would isolate everybody. And I said, oh, okay, if you want to think like... I said, but it'll be a lot worse. If we have an atomic war, all what I would see, and this is how I see it, there wouldn't be buildings standing, and I could see the whole earth scorched, and you could see for miles, but you won't see trees or anything. It's just going to be like that. Oh, okay. So Sally, they make homemade noodles and videos look so easy. It's not. No, I found out that if I use semolina flour and stuff with this pasta machine, it comes out well. Noodles and pastas are all the same. It's the egg that binds it together, and the eggs are a binder. Like I said, the eggs bind everything. But you have to mix it thoroughly and just add salt. When you cook it, it'll get the liquid. But the one thing I have learned is homemade pasta. It cooks much faster, and when mine comes out, I always pour oil over it. Believe you me, the first ones I did were not easy. Then they said, oh, use all-purpose flour. I said it didn't work. Okay, I've gone halfway through. It's going to turn and unclog itself. and then start again. The only thing I dislike about this machine is, well, there's a few things that I have disagreements with. That when it goes to make lasagna noodles, they're too thick. Another thing is these noodles actually break much easier. So I do have some problems with it. No, I'm not. I was just talking in general a film video that I saw on YouTube, not this, Matthew. And I was talking about just a video I saw, and it had stated this, you know, a pandemic. And I'm saying a World War III would do, you know, give you a better idea. If the buildings, when the Twin Towers came down, and my sister-in-law saw them walk over the bridge, and because she was in security, she had to help them. She noticed this. She said, Sandy, some of them had their clothes blown off, and they were in total shock. And I said, in a world where I could see people like that, in shock, no cover, no nothing, and they're out to lunch because they're in shock. Zuber, hi, and good morning. So that's what I was talking about. You're not moving. I don't know why it's acting up today, because it usually does this very, very well. Okay, go on. You're going to do what you want. I'll probably have to run it twice. See how it's acting? It doesn't act like this, but you're watching it, it's doing it. I'm not lying, this thing works really well, but today it's going to act up. I can see it. I can see how it's acting up, and I am not happy about this, because I was going to show you, nice machine. Usually the linguine comes out really easy, 1, 2, 3, but today it doesn't want to. But I have learned that homemade pasta does cook faster, and when you take it out, you do have to put oil in it and toss it, and then wait 10 minutes and toss it again, or it'll start sticking together. But they're going to be different lengths. There's nothing I can do about that. That is funny, Matthew, that you know. I was just talking about a film that I saw, a video. And at the beginning, they really want to set you for the mood. They sat there and said, we're 3 steps from being in this circumstance. I said, oh, that's great. Frighten everybody. This is my pasta machine. Now see, these are coming out nicer. I tell you, this machine is finical. But if I had a place to clip, I would be doing it by hand. I'd have the machine cut it out, but I have no place to do that, so I can't do that. I have to do it differently. Yeah. It's going to stop soon and then turn off, and I'm going to have to start it up again because there's too much pasta flour sitting in there. No, I'm cooking dinner now, and today, if I have the energy, I'm going to try to do some cleaning, but I just do a little and I'm exhausted because I guess I'm sick. And I would not make pasta all day. I would go start raving mad. I might have to take a nap this afternoon just to rejuvenate myself. I collapsed last night. It didn't do much yesterday. meant to call one of my girlfriends to see how she's doing. But I was too sick yesterday. I started coughing in the evening, and it's just kicking me. And I said, this is no fun. Put you in simmer now. Because when we're done here and with the pasta, we're going to grill the meat. No, women, when you're packing lunches and stuff, most people will pack sandwiches or you go out and eat at lunch. People like me pack the lunch for the family, especially if you care about their health. You want to make sure that they get the best that they can. So when they go, they have, it's just like packing lunches for children, except that these meals can be warmed up in microwaves because they have microwaves where people work. So I set them up, and I'll put dessert, if there's dessert in it. I make sure that I buy bottled water for them so they don't have to buy it there. And I have their coffee. So they have that going. Yeah, mine's a head coat. Shiva? Oh, okay. Thank you, Sally. I haven't taken anything but apple cider vinegar and water for this. And I'm not hungry, so I'm not really eating, which surprises me because I usually do. But I figured if I start coughing, I have apple cider vinegar and honey to deal with that. Now this is going to turn. That's way too much. This is not the way it's working today. This is why I can't tell you that to get this one, because there are problems with it. I don't understand, but I haven't. It was the only one I could afford at the time. So, like I said, if I find something that really works, I definitely recommend it to you. I will not hide from you. Okay, it's going to start up again. So I wouldn't recommend it because there are some problems with it. Listen, whatever works. For me, honey and vinegar works. I know the reason people get sick is because your body is acid. That's because you've had too many sugars. Or sweets, because that causes your body to go acid, and once you're acid, you're going to get sick. Apple cider vinegar is the only vinegar that does this. A teaspoon in a cup of hot water, and you drink it twice a day. It will build your body back up into an alkaline state, and you can have people sick all over the place. You won't get sick. I mean, I've been fighting everybody from the store all the way over here from getting sick, and it finally caught me, but it took what? 2 months. I will, Sally. Sean, I couldn't even answer that. I don't even know if young women even cook anymore. They're so quick to buy instant food and stuff. It would have to be a mother who taught her daughter, and then her daughter knows what to do. But these young women of today, a lot of them are just out to make money, live their life, do what they want with their body and everything else. And then when they hit 30, they notice they're aging very, very quickly, and all of a sudden they want to look young. I have a friend who is 61, and the only thing she asked me, because I'm 72, I'm going to be 73 soon, she asked me, how's the sex as you get older? And I said, listen, that is not important. Believe it or not, because there are problems. There's always something going on. That is the least that she's hung up on it. And she's a pre-diabetic, and I don't want to tell her, because you're pre-diabetic, those desires are all going to die. And there was nothing I could do, because like one of my sons said, he likes to have mixed drinks and stuff like that. And I told him, you know, that's a lot of sugar. And we had a discussion. He said, but Mommy, you cook well, don't worry, I won't. And I'm sitting there saying, you know, that it doesn't work like that. My husband was my best friend. Yes, he was, Matthew. I shared everything with him. Don't worry, there'll be pasta when they're done. I think a husband should be her best friend. I shared everything with him. Everything. He said, sometimes he said, Sandy, I really don't need to know that. And I said, well, you're my friend. I'm going to tell you anyway. He said, okay. So he was my best friend. My microwave, I don't even know. Fiberware is my microwave. I love the color. I just wanted a simple microwave just to warm dishes up, you know, because sometimes we want something quick, and putting it on a plate over boiling water with wax paper takes forever. Put it in the oven, dries it out. Microwave 15 seconds and you got it. No, I'm not going over there. I'm over here. I have to be over here. Okay, here we go again. No, I thought they would have a place I could oil it, but they don't have a place I can oil it, so I have no idea how to oil this thing. Now, this doesn't work. I'm going to look like a liar to you guys. My pasta machine is Emilio Lagazza. E-M-E-R-I-L Lagazza, L-A-G-A-S-S-E. But it's not the greatest machine, so look for something that you can afford and something that works for you. The best machine is the one you make and you manually roll it out. And that you get at Amazon. But you've got to have a counter to hook it up to. This counter has a little tiny edge, and I can't get it to screw on to lock it in so I could use the pasta machine. So I tried my table. Well, it's not much better. So I tried the cabinet over there. Nothing. And I said, we used to have counters that had a wide edging where you could hook it up, anything, and you could do what you had to do. But they've changed the kitchens and everything that it's much harder. Are you coming out? Yeah, you're coming out. No, that's this machine running my pasta machine. See, I'll show you. And that's what I'm waiting for. But I can say the new refrigerators are noisy. Yeah, it's over there. Quiet. It's quiet now. Now you're coming out. Wants to move. Sometimes it gets like that and there's nothing I can do about it. I have to deal with it. See, I don't like buying the pasta in the box. As far as I'm concerned, they're not telling me what's really in it. They're not going to tell me what's in it. I'm not going to buy it. Change. Oh, I can't talk about that. I don't think I would change, because everything I went through has brought me to this point. All the discipline, all the whippings and everything, and not, you know, learning to grow up. If I had to change one thing, if I didn't smoke marijuana, I wouldn't know what it does. If I didn't have to take and have surgery, I wouldn't know what's waiting on the other side. If I didn't sit there and learn some harsh lessons in life, I would probably be more reckless. I told you a lot of the things. If I didn't sit there and listen to Kathy, I wouldn't know that we had sick people living in the neighborhood who liked to rape children, you know? We were lucky we did not get caught in that house. But our parents caught us. She gets a talking to, I get my ass whipped, you know? I'm not ashamed. I almost bit my mother's finger off because I had a belly full of her. Telling my father off? No, because he told me when I was a little girl, I wasn't even 5 years old, that he hated me and he was sorry I was ever born and I should get the fuck out of his life. Yeah, my father told me that. So I guess it's everything that I've been through. And I've told you a lot of stupid things I've done. I feel guilty probably for some things that I have said. What advice could I give them? I want to say stay out of college. You'd probably be more intelligent with common sense. For the young, understand life is sacrifice, and that's all it's going to be. When you have children, you're going to sacrifice. When you get a husband, you both sacrifice to each other. Life is not going to be easy. Face up to it. Realize it. You work as a unit. Don't put other people into your private business. A lot of women get together and they start talking about their husbands and stuff. I did learn one thing as a teenager, and that was, girls, you have a boyfriend, shut up and don't tell your girls. And boys, don't tell your friends about the girl you've got. Because if you make her sound good or she makes him sound good, your so-called best friends will go after them. Because they say, oh, you got a good thing. And remember, everybody wants to put somebody down, which is wrong. I think they ought to put God back into their lives again. But they're taught now evolution, and evolution is falling apart, but they're going to keep on building it up. Women, hey, men gossip just as bad. So, it's a two-way street. You can't be self-centered in a relationship or in life. You can't. It's a give and take as a relationship. The women who are independent and they're on welfare, instead of looking to the husband, they look to welfare now. I don't want to look to the government. I'd rather look to my husband, and I did. Can't do anything about that, Sandy. Find people and don't talk. I didn't have to ask my husband for anything, okay? I'll be honest with you. He watched me and he got things for me. He saw my struggles when I was trying to craft, when I was trying to learn to make needle lace and all these things. So he bought things and he came home with them. And when he saw I was tired, he would take me out or he'd help with the work or something. And when my husband came home and he needed to get away and be just with other servicemen or go paint, if he wasn't paint and I wasn't posing, he would go and he'd be gone for hours. But there's a trust that has to go in that direction because my husband was an artist and he painted nudes. So if he got a commission, I knew it was going to be a nude woman. So I had to trust him and he had to trust me. So there was that trust. There's a lot of trust in a marriage. When that trust is finally broken all the way, you can't blame anybody. I wouldn't change being a mother. all the work I did was volunteer for the church and helping people. That's all I ever did. I loved my husband. I talk so highly about him. Oh, he made me angry. One day I was slamming cabinets. And I said, I could tear this whole house down. He said, why don't you, Sandy? I said, because we don't have the money to rebuild it. You know, I felt I'm just so frustrated and angry. I wouldn't take a career path other than the one I did. I'm not out to make a ton of money. I'm out to help people. And I think this is a good way of helping people. You know, I give a lot of this stuff away free to you. And I hope that you take the information and better your life and your health with it. Because a sick child, a sick husband is hard to work with. Those last 15 years of my marriage was illness and sickness. I had a voice. You're very wrong about that. That's the lie they teach you in school. The suffrage movement is where I got my rights. Before that, women were property. They couldn't decide who they wanted to marry. They couldn't run a business or anything. They couldn't handle money. They couldn't get a loan or anything. I'm talking about the suffrage. I'm not talking about the crap that Jane Fonda did in the 1960s. Okay? So I had all of my rights. They were there. The suffrage movement, what was the 1920s? Right before the 1920s? Somewhere, I'd say 1880s, 1920s. I can't remember the exact date, so I'm going to go wide on that. That's where my rights were. I had the right to vote. I had the right to own a business. I had a right to choose if I wanted to get married or not, if I wanted to make a career or not. The bank could not deny me. I could own property. I mean, it gave me all the rights that I wanted. Jane Fonda hacked those rights away. What she's saying is no woman should be in the kitchen. No woman should be a mother. No, you have your children independently. Get rid of the man. Just get his seeds, that's all you need, his sperm, and have your children do what you want and everything else. Now, that has destroyed the family. I'm sorry. But my rights were with the suffrage movement. I could do anything I wanted, and nobody could say anything. That's how Jane Fonda was trying to make a name for herself. I got women's rights. We already had our rights. She was too stupid not to know. Or maybe she did it intentionally so she could make a name for herself, because she wasn't a great actress. They called her a B actress, a grade B. So check your history out, look up the suffrage movement, and you'll find out that's where all your rights came from. And these women who are doing things and saying, I have a right to be topless out in the street, men and everything. Listen, before that, men could not go out without a t-shirt or a shirt on. They couldn't go shirtless. It was having respect for everybody. That's what it is. Women sell sex now. I mean, look at how they dress. I could go into the lingerie and tell you how bad it was. Thongs and all. What you're doing is shaking your ass and say, fuck me. So she can have the children, and then she goes to the government, and the government will be the husband and give her an allotted amount of money and everything else instead of a man. Now, when a man loves you and he takes you in, he defends you. He will build a mansion for you if you just give him the encouragement. My husband gave me so much, and I asked for nothing. We're making tuna with sauce, and I'm going to put it over the pasta. You can say it's ridiculous. That's my right. You don't know your history? That's your problem, not mine. Because if you think all these new movements and everything that's going on now, this is nothing but a bunch of crap in my book. I'm sorry. No, I can't say I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you that you don't understand life if you consider that crap. No, I have never been arrested I was threatened one time because I backtalked the sheriff. I jaywalked in my small town. And he said, "You walked to the corner." I said, "No." And he picked me up, put me in the police car. He parked in front of the jail, and he said, "There's criminals and bad guys in there, and I can lock you up for breaking the law. Do you hear me?" That's why when we came to New York and Tony J walked across the street, I wouldn't go with him. I stayed there. He said, "Come." I said, "No, I'm not coming." He said, "Come." He grabbed me, and I bit him all the way across the street and screamed and kicked that I was not going to jail for jaywalking. That's how bad that police officer, sheriff, well, I should call him the sheriff, scared me. And what do I do now? I jaywalk. Country girl. I was born in Connecticut, but I was raised in Texas in a small town. The government does here. It's called welfare. And that's what it is. They tell you how much money you can have and everything else. They tell you what you can buy. And they control your income. That's like a husband giving you money for food and say, "Here's your allowance. You've got to stay within the budget." So instead of a woman looking to a husband, she looks to welfare. She runs to welfare. She gets what she wants. They throw the man out of your family. We stayed a family. They did everything. They said my husband beat me. We ended up in court. Found out he never laid a hand on us. They said our sons weren't educated. They sat there and tested them. They were 5 grades higher than they should have been. Okay. Connecticut's beautiful. So I've been through a lot, but through all that I've been through, I found out how corrupt the government is. Ooh, hold on a minute. I'm going to be nosy. Oh. Something's going on next door. Because they wanted to break the family up so they had control of the family. They don't want a man to be the head of the house. This is how they get rid of the men out of the family. Just about done. That's what they do. See, the government is afraid of the men. Believe it or not, people don't know that. You can manipulate and frighten a woman. A man is another ball game. He'll fight you back. Women think they're tough. They might have a mouth on them. Yeah, they're tough with their mouth. Ask any man, they'll tell you. But when it comes hand to hand, and men think a certain way and the government's run, they can go head to head. That's why governments, it's very important to destroy the family, where they can get control. Once they have control, women are easier to frighten. All you have to do is threaten to take the children away, and she will do anything and jump through loops. The man will say, "You were not touching my children, and I'll kill you." You know, there's a difference there. That's why they have to break the family up. So to get a good man, listen to him, and because he's got his hands full. Now for young men, you're going up against an older man, I'm going to tell you right now, he's got time in. Listen to him and learn from him so you don't get run over, as they say in life, because they can teach you how to survive and protect your family. Protection isn't always with guns and stuff like that. No, I did not try cocaine. I don't think women are less. I think we have different positions to hold, okay? Now remember, you're talking about, my religion goes into this. Women have our position. I grew up, I knew that I would grow up into a woman, all right? I knew the things I was supposed to do. And I learned from little, moving on up. Men also have their position and what they have to learn, and their fathers and the older males are supposed to teach them when they grow up. It's not that we're not equal in strength, okay? We each have our strengths and we have our weaknesses, but when they come together, his weaknesses will be her strengths will be his weakness. You see, they have their strengths and weaknesses and they come together, and when they're matched up and they know how to do with each other very well, you've got a very strong force. And so I cannot say that man is better. I'm not going to say a woman is better, but we have our positions. Now, when you have children, children have their place in society as well, like grandparents. Everybody has their place in society. If you have a family and you have 4 or 5 generations, you'll notice that each one has their place. Now, my older son knew that he was the oldest male, so therefore, when something happened to his father and his father left, he knew it fell on his shoulders to take a position of being the older male in the house, but not being my husband and not being the father to his younger brother. But that he knows if there's a crisis or something, he has to step up to it. All right? So this is how it is. I'm sorry, you can't look at it any other way. When a woman leaves her family and marries somebody, I didn't keep my ties with my family, with my brothers, my mothers, and my fathers, and them. No, all my ties became with his family. So these might seem old to you. They might sound old-fashioned. I don't like that, and all of this and that. But we all have a place in society, and we have our duties to do. I know my place. I'm running a business now, which is America's Home Cooking, and I'm giving information away. I'm taking the knowledge of my life and what I've learned in the kitchen. I bring it to you to help you. There are other people that teach other things on YouTube, and there's respect in each body. And so a lot of you that come across that are disrespectful, or young ones, you think you've got a mouth and stuff. No, it doesn't work. But remember, nobody is better when it comes to a man and a woman. We each have our strengths. The women have their strengths, men have their strengths. But men have their weaknesses and women have their weaknesses. But when you do come together, you have a tight, very tight, strong foundation. And the children can grow up in that foundation. And they'll be strong citizens. They'll be very respectful. You're going to have bouts with them, I know. I gave my mother and father problems, and I got whipped for it, royally, as they said. But I learned, and I am a citizen to this country of mine, and I don't have a criminal record. I'm not a disappointment to the government or anything else. So the way I talk, you might say that's putting a woman down. No, it's not. It's a woman who knows her place. You see, that's the difference. I know my place. I got to get these out before they get mushy. And you know why they say women have to teach children? Who's the first teachers when a child is born? The mother. So little children go to her. When I went into high school, I had male teachers. By then, I was old enough, it was time to have male teachers. Junior high school, I had some male teachers. But all in the lower grades, you had women. Because children are little, they relate to the mother. That's the gentle side, supposedly, with the way women are today. I would question that. That's considered the gentle side, the loving side. The man is the strength. Because I'm going to tell you right now, a man will beat a woman every time in a fight. I've seen police officers, it takes 2, 3 females, and then a male officer comes, one punch man, he puts the guy down. You know? There were police officers a long time ago. Like Auntie told me, when she had to stay at the police station because the Brooklyn Bridge the bridges had trolleys, okay? And she went to a pastry store. She thought she would get out in time and get to the trolley to get into Brooklyn because she was in Manhattan. Well, she didn't, and she couldn't get home. So the police picked her up, and they took her to the police station, and she dealt with police women, and they gave her a cell to sleep in and blankets and stuff, and got her breakfast. And in the morning, they drove her across so she could get home in Brooklyn. Auntie. Now that's going back, and that's giving you some history on the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay, we got the pasta. Here it is. Yeah. Well, this is going to be hot. I've got a fork in here. Okay. Now in about 5 or 10 minutes, I'll toss it again. It's hot. This is to keep it from sticking. And my all blend. If you want to make an all blend, I'll tell you my all blend. All right. I sit there and put 4 cups of extra virgin olive oil together. I add a cup of peanut oil, and I add a cup of safflower oil and a cup of sunflower oil, and I put 400 international units. 400 international? Hold on. Oh, my mistake. I put a natural vitamin E, D-alpha ketophrol, spelled with a Y, and it's got to be 450 milligrams. And I squeeze it in, I shake that up, and that's called my all blend that I make. Now, why do I mix those oils up? Because it has all the acids the cells need. So I figured I will make sure when I make salads or when I'm cooking, I use this oil. Now, I do have corn oil, and I'll use that for popcorn. I mean, I did learn to dehydrate cheddar cheese, and I want to try making cheddar cheese popcorn. And my son said, oh, we'll do that together. He said that 6 weeks ago. We haven't done it yet. And I still have it sitting in the refrigerator. Okay. These have been sitting quite nicely. Let me see. We are having tuna. Okay, I gotta get the grill out. Now listen, this dish, like I said earlier, you can grill this outside if you want. I have an inside grill, and it's a cast iron. I'm gonna have to get it out, so it's gonna get noisy while I'm down pulling it out underneath everything. Okay, and then we'll get these going. Okay, I don't need these. I know it got a little loud. Just sit there a minute, I gotta light this stove. Let me get over here and get this lit, and I'll move you over here and we'll start grilling with this. So you could use this as a summer dish if you like grilling, you know. And you can make any kind of salad you want to go with it, or a fruit cocktail if you wish. I wouldn't have beer with this. I would recommend you have a wine with it because it is fish. I would recommend a dry white wine if you're having guests over and you want to make this for them. I think it would be very, very nice. I have to go back to reading. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, now you're gonna tell me I can broil it? No. If you want, and you don't want a charcoal grill outside, they say place it on an oil grill rack or a broiler pan and slip it under the broiler. You can grill or broil, turning once for about 3 minutes on each side for medium rare, or you can cook it longer until it's done to your liking. Okay? I'm going to use my grill here. As it gets hot, I'll brush it down with oil, so give me a minute. Right, there's my big brush. Yeah, my big brush went. Okay, we'll get over here. So I wouldn't change my life. I grew up, I was always in church. That's why I have my faith is very strong. I won't change it. Well, my girlfriend drugged me into every religion. She was looking for God. And I said, he's right in the church. My mother said, let her go. And then she said, Sandy, would you please come with me, because I want to sit there and I feel so embarrassed. I said, okay. So I had to pray before I went and told God, look, I'm only doing it to help her find you, but I don't believe in this. You know, I had to go through that. Hello, Australia. Marked, let's see, Marie. Well, if you want to be on the floor, go ahead, you know. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. Now they want us to sprinkle some salt on these before we put them on. Okay. Okay, we're gonna let that grill get hot, but they do say sprinkle them with salt. Go high, because if you go low, you'll end up with a cluster of salt in one area, and that's not what you want. I don't know why they want me to add more salt to it, but whatever. But I know a lot of older women my age, they think their rights would be taken away and everything else. We could get an abortion at my time. You had to find a doctor and you had to pay for it. The government didn't pay for it. Your parents paid for it. If you're an adult, well, you get the money together. Because when I grew up, if you wanted something, you worked for it. You didn't have a right to destroy somebody else's life unless you're defending yours and they're coming after you. But if you wanted something, you didn't run to the government for it. You did it yourself. So the government's only supposed to protect our borders and stuff like that. They're not supposed to interfere into our life or support us or anything else. And I've seen a lot of shotgun weddings. If you don't know what those are, that's when a young man gets a young lady pregnant. Papa comes in, and you either get shot, literally, or you marry my daughter, because we're not going to have any bastards, and you're going to make sure this child has a name. And I saw what it did. I said, oh God, I was careful. The only privilege you have in America is to make your life, you know, a job or something like that. But there's no such thing as a privilege. People work to buy a home. People work to get a car. Okay? You want your child to go to college? You work to make sure they have that money. That's what you do. I work to give my children that are grown now the best I can in health to carry them through their lives. You work for what you want. Nothing is free. Nothing. So I shouldn't say that, because at this point I've given you over 2,900 recipes free, okay? And I've given you free knowledge that I learned and I had read to help you help yourself. But to survive in life, you work for what you want. I knew that if I got pregnant, I was going to have to marry who got me pregnant. Now, see, the guys don't like that. They would like the free sex, just when you have the sex, nothing else. But women, we had to be careful. But don't say we couldn't get abortions. Yeah, we could get abortions. It's just that your parents would pay for it, that's all. The government didn't pay for that stuff. It wasn't their job. So if you wanted to be a whore, well, you'll do everything to be a whore. If you want to be a successful businessman, you will be a successful businessman, but you're going to have to work for what you want. My ideas might sound old-fashioned. They might sound out of kink for today. But we survived, and we've learned to take responsibility for everything that we've done. Okay, I don't know how long these steaks are going to stay on, so we'll find out. They want us to sprinkle this over the dish when we're done. It does smell good. So remember, you're hearing from how I was raised and how I believe. I do give you history as well. For those women who think Jane Fonda and stuff opened the door, I've heard a lot of you cry at me and said, "You took my rights away." I said, "No," because I remember when Jane Fonda did that, and I told my mother, "She's taking my rights away now, Mommy. I'm losing my rights." I was very angry. And that was the last time I had a nice word for Jane Fonda. Besides her sitting on that tank and sitting there saying it's all right to torture American prisoners and everything else. And she caused a lot of problems there, too. No, we couldn't sit there and say, "Mommy, get me out of this or that." If you did something, you paid the price. And our parents would stand there and say, "You're going to pay the price. You weren't going to get off of it." And then when you got done with whatever somebody took, if you did broke the law, when you got done with that, you got another punishment on top of it. Like I told you, when my brother left the block, the road clean across town on that motorcycle, had a car accident. When he came home, half his face was missing because he had skidded, so he skidded all the skin off half his face. Well, doctor came, everything else, and when he was well, my parents beat the crap out of him for not listening. And he thought he was a big boy. He found how big he was. He wasn't. But today I hear children cry, and you want your parents to get you out of trouble and say, "Oh, I have a good son. Oh, or I have a good daughter. Look what they did to her." She had a hand in it. She didn't get away with it. If I said that, my beating would have been twice as bad. Just shut your mouth and accept it, you know. He got, well, no, my brother, both my mother and father went after him with belts. He got both ends. Once his face was all healed and the doctor said he was healed, but they nursed him and everything. And Gino and I said, Jimmy, did they say anything? No. You didn't get whipped? No. Did they say anything? No. They're being nice. Wow. Then, when he was healed, Gino and I got money, free money to go to the, it wasn't our allowance, it was, we got extra money. We were to go to the show and enjoy the day. We heard about it the next day. The beating he got from that. He needed it. He needed to know the responsibilities for the actions that he did. This is what we were taught. We didn't get away with, as they said, we didn't get away with murder. We never did. I'm doing better. At least I could stand up when I got out of bed this morning before it really hurt. Oh, aren't those nice grid marks? That's it. Isn't this looking great? Yes, it is, Michael. It's tuna. Thank you, love. Yeah, that's what I was surprised. It came out really nice. Yeah. Well, where I grew up, we didn't have skis and mountains like that. We could see the next town on the horizon. So I'm going to let these finish cooking, and I'll fix the dish with pasta. You got one here today? Oh, that's right. I put the other one away. So this is going to be cooking for a while. Yeah, I think this is enough. So we're just going to be watching this for a while. There's nothing we can do. There's no beef. This is tuna steaks. I'm terrified of jet skis. My family likes the tuna more done, so I have to cook it a little longer. We don't like it raw. Yeah, tuna steaks. You might know them at a store where you go to. They call them tuna fillets. But it's the same thing. I checked it out. When I think fillet, I go in a different direction. So I said, wait a minute, why are you calling them? And he's calling them steaks. And I said, okay. So if you hear fillets, tuna fillets or tuna steak, it's the same thing. It's going to be anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inch. These are 1 1/4 inch thick. And I know you don't want me to overcook it, but my family likes it more done than undone. Some people like this, so I have to cook according to my family's taste. All right, but if it's a filet mignon, well, that's another story, or a standing rib roast, or a ribeye. You know, I had one son that liked it so cooked. I mean, you could wear it as shoe leather, but I had to work him into eating this. I'm sorry, Michael, you might like your tuna a little less cooked. I just have to work with my family. I also have people scream about pork. That's pork! You can't eat pork? What do you mean I can't eat pork? If I cook it right, I sure in Sam heck can. Oh, God. This looks so done. I do want to take it off, but I still see pink, and I know my family. But they do look like they're done. Everybody has their favorite meat. I like wild game. I grew up on wild game as well as other ones. But my father hunted and my brothers hunted. And my mother bought it on the hook and had to go to the butcher. So we had a wide variety of food cooking. Small towns, people say small town, small gossip, but really in a small town, everybody watches for everybody. Not being nosy, but it's actually protecting everybody. Okay, I'm going to have to cut one of these open. I'm not real good on tuna yet, cooking it. I'm going to take one and I'm going to cut it. I want to see how the inside is, because if this one's done, I want to take it off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to check this because I'm not real good at cooking tuna. I've only had it twice in my life. It wasn't something that we had a lot of. It's pink. You know, I'm going to have to cook it more for my family. My family will not tolerate this. Okay, we're going to have to leave you on a little longer because they're not going to be happy. But it does taste good. So it's just about spicy. Oh, God. That burns. It's got a nice kick to it. The hot peppers really are going to let you know it's there. Make sure you have water and wine next to your plate. Okay? Yeah, I know you're cut, but I need you to cook a little more for my family. I know you're probably wondering, what songs is she humming? These are old 1920s and 30s songs. Very, very old. Because I was born in the 50s and my grandparents were, you know, and my mother was. And my father being a Korean vet, so you can back up on that. So that's why I know. Yes. Sahan. She has to get into the kitchen and learn the terminologies and stuff. This is why I keep on trying to show people these terminologies and things to do. That's why I have long videos. I'm not taking shortcuts. I'm not hiding from you. I want you to see there are mistakes that are made in the kitchen. Like yesterday, I think, or the other day, I showed you how to hard boil an egg. I had cooked that egg and egg yolk just to the point of done. Now, if I went to make deviled eggs or I needed to chop them up, I would leave them in the hot water longer. But I wanted to catch them just at that point where they were done. And that's what I did. So she needs to want to cook, and she has to learn the terminologies. And I can tell you right now, I have a book that has a ton of terminologies that I had to learn. Some of them I don't use, but I had to learn them at the time. Pancakes, I love pancakes with breakfast sausages. I'm going to show you how to make breakfast sausage. That's an old recipe too. I bought 3 pounds of pork so I could make breakfast sausage. With the sage and everything, we used to have to make them in patties. We didn't get them in casings. And that's how we had them. But I have made them in meatballs. And they're good. And we've had them as patties. And I'm saying, you know, if we make these really thin, they'd be great with fried eggs for breakfast on an English muffin. You know, I go there and think of things like this. So listen, and she has to first want to know how to cook. And then you're going to have to, she has to get a hold of either she could watch me or she'd probably get lost on some of it, but there are other stations that make it easier. Or if you know an older woman who cooks, ask her if she could teach her, see if she's amenable to that. But if she's out to making money, I don't think, do I need money to live in society? Of course I do. To be a millionaire? Oh, good God, I would not. That's one thing I would not want to be, as a millionaire. That is too much. I don't want to be wealthy. Okay, this is how it's going to be served, right? There, and I need to get a spoon now. I want you to take some of this, where it was sitting in all this lovely olive oil, and I want you to pour it over it, and that's it. But I am going to pour some of this around on the pasta, and I've got to think of a vegetable I want to put in here with it, so we'll find out soon enough. I don't really know, and I've got to get the rest of those out that grill. And that's how it's going to be served, packed. I just have to get a vegetable together, and that's it. Let me get a plate. Oh, God. I'll turn this off, Sandy, first off. They don't cook anymore. Oh. Come on, give me my pot holder back. Okay, and this will be for later. That's one packed already, and I've got this. That's it. I haven't decided on the vegetable I'm going to serve with it anyway, but that's how I make pasta. Why would, that's too much. That is just too much money for me. I don't need that kind of money. If I can eat, do repairs on my home, I've got clothes on my back, I've got just about everything I need. Why would you want to be a millionaire? To control people and stuff? No. What, have it sit around for nothing? So you could say, I want this or that, but what do you need is why. So being extra wealthy, no. I don't want it. It causes a lot of problems. And people look to you and they say, give me. And it's wrong. Some people will help. They'll start out like that. But then as they get the money, they get more greedy. And that's dangerous. And then you think you can control society. And then you start moving laws to where you could make more money and all of this. And then darkness in each of us that we fight every day comes out, and it gets out of hand. You have a good part in that you would say to help people. But if you sit there and say, well, I will give food to the poor, you go to the pantry workers, give them some food, but they take most of it. If you give it to the church takes it, and then they give the little bit there. If you donate to these places, if you give $5 to help, $1 goes to the people to help, and the $4 goes for the workers and everything. So you're actually paying for them. You're not actually helping people. If you see somebody that needs help, and sometimes the help is not financially, sometimes it's a hug to know that they're loved or that somebody thinks of them. Sometimes it's praying with them, or sometimes it's giving them a nod and acknowledging them as a person. I met a child that was having trouble with algebra. Her math was horrible, and she was failing, and she asked me, and I quit eating lunch with my family, and I said, here, I'm going to show you how to do it. When they say the word to here, it means to add. You see, I was giving her the key words to help her do her math, and then I had her do one of the next line, and she got it right. And she said, thank you. But see, she didn't need money in her pocket. What she needed was somebody to take the time to give her that little bit. That's what she needed. Sometimes people think, I give money, I give money, I give money. One woman went to a Trump rally. I saw this. She wanted a job. He gave her a job. What did she want? She said, I want a job. So he gave her a job. He gave her what she wanted. Now, he could have given her a lot of money, but that's not what she wanted. What she wanted and what she needed was a job, because she needed a job so she could do it herself, to have the pride of herself. Making this channel, I have a pride in myself that I am helping people. They're learning, they're getting new recipes, and all of this is going on. So I feel good inside that I can help. And when I go out in the street, I know this lady, things are really, really tight on her. So I help her. That's what we do. We help each other, but it's not in a grand scale sometimes. Sometimes it's in the little things that people need. Check before you. So that's why I don't want a lot of money, because I don't want my head to get this big. I'd rather stay contained. I'd rather stay humble and be that way. But this is for me. Jason, I could understand that as well. Do I stay in my means? Listen, I owe credit cards. I'm a woman. Do you know how difficult it is for a woman to stay in boundaries? We spend money. That's why they make things for us to look at. They always say, oh, that'd be so cute. Oh, I just gotta have, oh, I just know somebody would like this. Listen, I'm going to let you go on that. Okay? But I want all of you to take care. I hope you're learning from this channel. I hope you try some of the recipes. I really want to see some of your recipes or the dishes that you make. And the only way I can see them is if you go to my Facebook, America's Home Cooking. And if you do that, I would love to see some of the dishes that you make. And if you wish to share recipes, I would love that just as much. Okay? Take care, Jerry and Shane and Jason and Michael and all of you. I want all of you to take care. You have a great day, and I'm going to fight getting well if it kills me. Okay? Because I'm already deciding I want filet mignon for my birthday. And I think I might have a blueberry. Oh, I would love to have blue cheese. It's going to be something with blueberries for my birthday, but I'm definitely thinking of filet mignon for my birthday. Okay? Filet mignon? Oh, yeah. That's a sin in my book. That's as bad as regulars. Ooh, I could make regulars. I have time to think. Anyway, take care, and I guess I will see you. Tomorrow's Thursday. I will see you Thursday. I'm thinking about having duck tomorrow. Okay, so listen, take care and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.